If you are a man over 60, I want you to slow down for just a moment. Not because something is wrong with you, and not because you failed at anything, but because at this stage of life, quiet truth matters more than noise. You have already lived many lives. You worked hard, you provided. You carried responsibility when no one was watching. You solved problems for other people for decades. And now, whether you admit it or not, what you truly want is relief. Relief from pressure. Relief from expectations. Relief from emotional weight. Many men your age fear being alone. They worry about quiet evenings, empty houses, or too much silence. But here is the gentle truth. After 60, the biggest danger is not loneliness. It is letting the wrong relationship slowly take away the peace you worked your whole life to earn. This is not about bitterness, and it is not about rejecting connection. It is about wisdom. After 60, life stops being about proving anything. You no longer need to impress or compete. Your value is already established. What matters now is protecting your health, your time, your savings, and your emotional balance. These are no longer unlimited resources. Many senior men believe a girlfriend will bring comfort and happiness. Sometimes it does, but very often it brings pressure wearing the mask of affection. That is why today I want to share 5 gentle reasons why many men over 60 are better off protecting their peace instead of chasing romance. This comes from understanding, not anger. From experience, not judgment. Reason number 1 is simple, but many men struggle to accept it. Peace becomes more valuable than emotional engagement. When you are young, emotional intensity feels exciting. Late-night talks, emotional ups and downs, dramatic moments, passionate reconciliations. Younger bodies can handle that, older ones cannot. After decades of work stress, family responsibility, and silent pressure, most men reach a point where calm becomes necessary for survival, not just comfort. Modern relationships often demand constant emotional presence. You listen, you reassure, you explain, you adjust. Over time, companionship quietly turns into emotional labor. You begin managing moods that are not yours, fixing problems you did not create, changing your behavior to keep emotional balance. At first it feels like connection. The attention feels good, but slowly expectations grow. Silence starts to feel like a problem. Independence gets labeled as distance. The calm you built over many years becomes something you are asked to explain. This emotional pull drains energy in ways many men do not notice at first. It shows up as poor sleep, tension, fatigue, irritability. You begin to feel that your peace depends on someone else's mood. And at this stage of life, peace is directly tied to health. Blood pressure, heart strength, mental clarity. Emotional stability affects all of it. Many older men stay in these situations because attention feels better than silence. After years of feeling invisible, being wanted feels comforting, but attention fades. Emotional strain remains. Peaceful silence, when chosen, is far healthier than emotional turbulence, disguised as love. I once imagined a man named Robert. He wakes early every morning. He drinks his coffee slowly. He watches birds outside his window. He takes quiet walks. He feels steady. Then, he meets someone. At first it feels warm, but soon his mornings change. His routines bend. His quiet time disappears. He starts explaining himself. He feels tired without knowing why. What he thought was connection slowly becomes obligation. Many men reach a point where they realize they are no longer receiving calm from the relationship. They are supplying it. And that imbalance quietly erodes well-being. After 60, peace is not a luxury, it is medicine. And this is only the first reason. There is much more to understand, because emotional cost is only part of the story. If you stay with me, then write continue below. Reason number 2 is something many men avoid talking about. But it matters deeply. After 60, romantic relationships create financial pressure without recovery time. At this stage of life, income is often fixed. Retirement savings exist for stability, medical needs, and peace of mind. They are not meant for emotional experiments. A girlfriend does not have to directly ask for money for financial stress to appear. It arrives quietly. Dinners out, weekend trips, small gifts, shared expenses, social expectations, even modest spending adds up over time. Most men carry a lifelong instinct to provide. It is part of who you are. You spent decades taking care of others, but after 60, every financial decision carries more weight. There is no long runway left to recover from poor choices. If savings shrink, they do not easily grow back. Emergency buffers disappear quietly. And when relationships end, which many do, the financial impact often stays long after the emotional connection fades. Financial stress does not just affect your bank account. It affects sleep. It affects blood pressure. It affects your sense of safety. There is a deep calm that comes from knowing you can handle medical costs or unexpected bills without fear. That kind of security is priceless. Romance feels warm in the moment, but it does not protect you when life shifts. I once pictured a man named Harold. He lived simply. His bills were paid. His pantry was full. He felt steady. Then he met someone. At first it was just coffee. Then lunches. Then small trips. He wanted to be generous. He wanted to feel useful. Slowly his savings dipped. He told himself it was fine. But one day his car needed repair. He felt panic for the first time in years. That is when he realized companionship had quietly cost him his sense of safety. Reason number 3 is the loss of autonomy, and many men underestimate how serious this becomes after 60. Before a relationship, your time belongs to you. You wake when you want. You eat what feels right. You build your days around your energy levels. You enjoy silence without explaining it. You follow routines that keep you grounded. These rhythms become more important as the body ages. When a girlfriend enters your life, autonomy fades slowly. Schedules change. Routines bend. Alone time starts to require discussion. Quiet moments can be misunderstood. Many men accept this as the normal price of companionship, without realizing what they are giving up. At this stage of life, freedom is not indulgence. It is health. Older bodies rely on predictability, regular sleep, familiar meals, calm mornings, simple habits. Disruption affects the nervous system more than it did years ago. What once felt flexible now feels exhausting. Over time, the relationship that was meant to add comfort begins to feel confining. Not because anyone is cruel, but because needs no longer align. Many men struggle to explain this. They feel guilty for wanting space. They worry that choosing autonomy makes them selfish. But the truth is that after 60, control over your time and environment supports mental clarity, emotional balance, and physical strength. He once spent quiet afternoons reading and tending his garden. After entering a relationship, those hours disappear. His days fill with plans and obligations. He feels restless. He sleeps poorly. He cannot name the problem, but his body feels it. This erosion happens slowly. You adjust again and again. You stay quiet to avoid conflict. One day you realize the freedom you once had is gone, replaced by routines that no longer serve your well-being. And just when many men think they can adapt, something deeper appears. Something tied not to personality, but to the world itself. Because modern relationship expectations are very different from the values most older men grew up with. And that leads us directly into reason number 4. Reason number 4 is something many senior men feel but rarely put into words. Modern relationship expectations clash with older men's nature. This is not about stubbornness. It is about how different generations were shaped. Many men over 60 grew up in a time when space was normal and silence was respected. A man could go about his day without checking in every hour and still be seen as caring. Emotional strength meant reliability, not constant conversation. Independence was not distance. It was dignity. Today relationships often demand continuous communication, quick replies, daily check-ins, emotional openness at all times. Calm can be mistaken for boredom. Quiet becomes suspicious. Independence is labeled emotional distance. For many older men, this feels unnatural and exhausting. It asks them to live against decades of habits that once kept them grounded. Over time, this creates quiet tension. A man may feel criticized for simply being himself. He may feel pressure to change routines that supported his health for years. Language becomes careful, boundaries soften. Emotional performance replaces emotional truth. Resentment does not arrive suddenly, it builds slowly. The relationship begins to feel heavy instead of warm. Calm men are often seen as boring. Men who do not chase are misunderstood. Those who value routine are called rigid. Faced with this, many older men feel forced to choose between pretending to be someone else or feeling inadequate for being exactly who they are. Neither path brings peace. And that brings us to the deepest truth of all. Reason number 5 is that romance is often mistaken as the cure for loneliness. Loneliness is real. It deserves honesty. But loneliness after 60 is rarely caused by the absence of a girlfriend. More often it comes from lack of structure, lack of purpose, or lack of meaningful daily rhythm. Many men believe companionship will fill an emotional gap. At first it may. But when a relationship becomes your main source of comfort, it also becomes fragile. When expectations are not met, disappointment replaces warmth. Emotional dependence increases vulnerability. True fulfillment later in life comes from something steadier: self-respect, health, routine, small joys, morning walks, simple meals, reading, light exercise, friendly conversations, hobbies, quiet reflection. These things nourish the spirit in ways romance often cannot. I picture a man named James. After retirement, he felt empty. He thought he needed a partner. Instead, he built gentle routines. He walked every morning. He cooked for himself. He joined a small community group. He called old friends. Slowly, peace returned. He realized he was not lonely. He was just learning how to live differently. When a man becomes content alone, emotional manipulation loses power. When happiness no longer depends on someone else's mood, the heart feels steady. This is not isolation. It is emotional independence. And emotional independence is one of the greatest freedoms after 60. Avoiding romantic entanglement does not mean rejecting love. Connection does not need labels or emotional strain. Respect does not require sacrifice. Some of the most fulfilled senior men enjoy warm friendships and gentle companionship while protecting their autonomy and peace. As life enters its later chapters, priorities change. The need to impress fades. What remains is the desire to live with dignity and calm. Many men stay in relationships, not because they are happy, but because they fear being alone. But solitude, when chosen, is not loneliness. It is control over your time. It is freedom over your space. It is the ability to live at your own rhythm. The most peaceful men, after 60, are rarely chasing romance. They are protecting their energy. They choose calm over chaos, peace over performance. They understand that the value of any relationship is not measured by how much attention it brings, but by how little peace it costs. At this stage, one question matters most. Does this bring peace, or does it bring pressure? Walking away from pressure is not failure. It is wisdom. Because the most important relationship you will ever have, after 60, is the one you build with your own peace. When that relationship is strong, everything else becomes optional. If this message spoke to your heart, share your thoughts in the comments. Write quiet strength below and tell us where you are watching from.